The AFK farming software, I became invincible without knowing it. Chapter 381, Mid-Stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm. Challenge Competition. Qiming's speed at opening the Great Dao Immortal Apertures and condensing the Dao Supremacies was very fast. In a day, he could establish nearly 1,000 Great Dao Immortal Apertures and devour countless immortal crystals to evolve his inner world. Then, with the Divine Power technique as the foundation, he could condense nearly 1,000 Great Dao Supremacies. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, 12 days later, Qiming absorbed and fused the 12 Heaven and Earth Great Dao fragments. His comprehension of the Heaven and Earth Great Dao had indeed reached a critical point and was almost about to enter another level. He had also established 11,781 Great Dao Immortal Apertures. In his body, there were a total of 117,819 Great Dao Immortal Apertures that evolved into his inner world. Every Great Dao Immortal Aperture condensed a Great Dao Supremacy. Very good. Qiming was in a good mood and was very satisfied. Next is to join all the Great Dao Immortal Apertures and cultivate the Chaos Great Dao Scripture to break through. It will probably take a long time. I'll charge 10 billion high-grade immortal crystals. Qiming said, cultivate the Chaos Great Dao Scripture, Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal section of the Immortal Realm chapter. Ding! Chaos Great Dao Scripture, cultivating the Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal section of the Immortal Realm chapter under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. A notification appeared. Spring passed and autumn came. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 1,000 years later. Not much happened. There were various small conflicts between the various large factions in the 9 provinces domain, but no large-scale immortal battle erupted. On this day, at noon. Ding! Congratulations, host! The Chaos Great Dao Scripture, Zenith Heaven has been cultivated for 1,000 years under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. You have successfully combined 117,819 Great Dao Immortal Apertures into one. Your Dharmic powers have increased greatly, and your cultivation level has increased to the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm. Ding! Congratulations, host! The Chaos Great Dao Sword Lotus has been refined for more than 1,000 years under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. It has consumed a large number of precious materials and has already been refined to the level of a top-grade Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm Immortal Treasure. Ding! Congratulations, host! The Chaos World Piercing Sword has been refined for more than 1,000 years under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. It has consumed a large number of precious materials and has already been refined to the level of a top-grade Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm Immortal Treasure. Ding! Congratulations, host! The Chaos Buzhu Mountain has been refined for more than 1,000 years under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. It has consumed a large number of precious materials and has already been refined to the level of a top-grade Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm Immortal Treasure. Several notifications appeared. Qiming was overjoyed. After 1,000 years of seclusion and a breakthrough in cultivation, all 3 intrinsic immortal treasures have been refined to the level of top-grade Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm Immortal Treasures. This way, my cultivation level will continue to increase to the Upper World Immortal King. The 3 intrinsic immortal treasures can also be refined to the Upper World Immortal King artifact, which is the level of the Upper World Treasure. With the thought, Qiming had already entered a profound state. 117,819 Great Dao Immortal Apertures appeared, and his Dharmic powers surged with majestic might. Heavenly Cycle Stars Array. Activate. The array was activated. It covered all of Qiming's aura, preventing the phenomenon of heaven and earth from happening. The commotion of his breakthrough was completely covered. He quietly broke through. A month later, everything calmed down. Qiming had completed his breakthrough. His cultivation level and realm had reached the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm. Moreover, he had already consolidated his cultivation and basically completely grasped the power after the breakthrough. Qi Ming sensed the dharmic powers in his body, the various divine powers, and the power of the heaven and earth great Dao. He pondered for a moment and said, I've already stayed in the heaven enlightenment sacred mountain for a full 1,000,000 years. Time passed so quickly. I've been in seclusion for more than 1,000 years. I wonder what happened in the outside world. I'll try using divine powers to deduce. Heaven Secrets Divine Power, Supreme Karma Technique. With a thought, Qi Ming used 2 divine power techniques. He used the power of karma to deduce the heavenly secrets of the upper world and spy on the past, present, and future. Snake Ring of Fate. Qi Ming used the heavenly Dao treasure, Snake Ring of Fate further and used the power of fate to clear the past, present, and future fog. Even if he did not take a step out of the heaven enlightenment sacred mountain, he could still instantly know everything that had happened in the 9 provinces domain in the past 1,000 years. This method was indeed extraordinary. Only upper world immortal kings with extremely profound cultivation and who had grasped the corresponding great divine power could do this. All kinds of conditions were indispensable. Of course, if it was in existence in the Venerate realm, they could naturally do it. Most importantly, the current situation of the 9 provinces domain was at the moment when the epic calamity was about to descend. The heavenly secrets were chaotic and filled with negative karma. The mortal world was endless, and it was difficult to pry into the heavenly secrets. Qi Ming still did it. His divine powers and methods were indeed very powerful. Ferocious beasts. Qi Ming opened his eyes. He saw everything that had happened in the past 1,000 years clearly. The ferocious beast calamity had become more and more frequent. Moreover, the source pointed to the 9-headed phoenix clan of the Western Ox province. For 1,000 years, in the 9 provinces domain, the number of ferocious beasts increased day by day. Beast tides of different sizes erupted in various places in the 9 provinces domain, causing a considerable calamity to appear. Although there were many ferocious beasts, they did not cause too much commotion. They could not shake the foundation of the various large factions in the 9 provinces domain. Therefore, the various large factions did not pay too much attention to it and only sent a portion of their forces to suppress the beast tide. The scene changed. Western Ox Province, one of the 9 provinces. 9-headed phoenix race. In the ancestral land. Looking over, what greeted his eyes were vast active volcanoes. On these active volcanoes grew huge trees called the parasol tree. In the center of the ancestral land was an extremely majestic mountain. This was the holy mountain of the 9-headed phoenix race. On the top of the mountain was a parasol tree. On this mythical parasol tree, a grand 9-headed phoenix temple was established. In this temple, the 9-headed phoenix clan's phoenix lord, Qi Hongling, knelt in front of a mighty statue with an extremely respectful expression. This mighty statue represented an existence in the Venerate realm. Reporting to 9 mystical heavenly Venerate. Qi Hongling's tone was respectful. I have already followed your instructions and placed the source of the ferocious beasts into the 9 provinces domain. The ferocious beast calamity will sweep through the 9 provinces domain. This majestic statue was enveloped in a violent white fog that was impossible to see clearly. However, an extremely dignified voice sounded, "You did very well." White light surged. Not long after, a snow-white bell appeared out of thin air and landed in front of Qi Hongling. It emitted waves of Dao runes that contained a mysterious power. "This is the beast summoning bell." A dignified voice sounded from the majestic statue, "This bell is the heavenly Dao treasure. When the beast tribulation completely erupts, you can use this bell to turn the tide." Yes. Qi Hongling was overjoyed, yes. Primordial Demon Sect. In the Heaven Enlightenment Temple where Qi Ming was. He gathered Red Dust and the others. Red Dust and the others stood outside the door of the Heaven Enlightenment Temple and said respectfully. The door was not opened, and they bowed to the temple in front of them. Qi Ming instructed, "Red Dust, lead Black Flame, Little Calamity, and the many elders and disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment Holy Mountain to secretly head to the Western Ox Province to investigate the beast Calamity. Your main goal is still to keep an eye on the nine-headed Phoenix clan. Red Dust bowed and said, "Yes. Yes, Master." Black Flame and Little Calamity also said in unison. "Go." Qi Ming said, "You can choose the exact people you want to bring." Red Dust, Black Flame, and Little Calamity left. Gu Zishui, Yu Hong, and the others were still eagerly waiting for Qi Ming to continue giving orders. As for Gu Zishui and the others, continue to guard the Heaven Enlightenment Sacred Mountain. Yes. Gu Zishui and the others were quite regretful, but they naturally followed Qi Ming's orders and did not dare to disobey. Although Qi Ming had deduced that the beast tribulation was directly related to the nine-headed Phoenix clan, he did not know the exact situation. To prevent any accidents, he also wanted to understand the exact situation. Qi Ming sent Red Dust and the others out. Ding! Detected that the host's cultivation level has already broken through to the mid-stage Zenith Heaven realm. The reward for clearing the early-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, the Great Universe World, will be greatly reduced. You can charge a quintillion top-grade Immortal Crystals to open the new Immortal Realm game dungeon. A notification appeared. Ding! Charging successful. Successfully activated the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm game dungeon, Challenger Arena. You can enter. A notification appeared. Enter. The next moment, the scene of the game dungeon appeared in front of Qi Ming again. This was a relatively special Immortal Realm game dungeon, an absolute sealed space. In other words, the absolute sealed space was a vast arena. In this challenge arena, 9 different enemies would appear. Qi Ming needed to defeat the 9 different enemies who appeared one after another and win all of them. Then, he could clear this Immortal Realm game dungeon. It was very simple. It was enough as long as he had enough strength. Then let's begin. Qi Ming did not hesitate at all. I'll charge a quintillion top-grade Immortal Crystals. Activate the Immortal Realm game dungeon immersion mode and begin the challenge. A vast energy surged into Qi Ming's body. A wisp of consciousness separated from Qi Ming's main body consciousness and entered the Immortal Realm game world. There was also a large portion of energy that forged the game character Qi Ming used to enter the Immortal Realm game dungeon. This game character was called the Arena Challenger. The Arena Challenge competition began. The first enemy appeared out of thin air in front of Qi Ming. Chapter 382, 3000 Rules in the Myriad Worlds. My name is the Fire Sword God. The first enemy to appear in front of Qi Ming was the weakest among the 9 challengers. A late-stage immortal king who cultivated the laws. He had grasped an extremely powerful lesser divine power and cultivated it to the profound realm. Heavenly Constellation Array. Qi Ming's palm landed and used the Heavenly Constellation 36 techniques to form a huge array. From there, the heavens descended. This fire sword god was instantly killed by his palm. Before he joined the primordial demon sect, his cultivation level was only at the mystic immortal realm. If he wanted to kill an upper world immortal king who cultivated the laws, he even needed to use his trump card to kill him. But now, Qi Ming could instantly kill him with a flip of his hand. After millions of years of seclusion cultivation, Qi Ming's cultivation level increased greatly, causing his strength to increase greatly. The fire sword god's corpse disappeared, turning into countless red light spots that dissipated. A 9-colored pillar of light descended and enveloped Qi Ming. His consumption in the battle just now instantly recovered, and the 9-colored pillar of light could recover his injuries and consumption. Not long after, white fog appeared in front of Qi Ming again. In this fog, a woman in a white dress walked over slowly. The dense white fog retreated, and her legs were fair like jade. She was a beautiful fairy. This was Qi Ming's second enemy. She was called Miao Bibai and was at the late-stage Immortal King realm as a law cultivator. She had grasped the lesser divine power at the perfection realm of the laws. All the lesser divine power she had grasped had been cultivated to the profound realm. Qi Ming comprehended the great Dao of heaven and earth, and the great Dao of heaven and earth contained all kinds of things in the world. It was profound and wonderful, so Qi Ming knew it clearly. In all worlds, the number of laws was limited. A total of 129,600. Nothing could change. The lesser divine power was a divine power method created by laws. Normally speaking, there was also a difference in strength between the lesser divine powers. The more laws fused, the stronger the lesser divine power created. The lesser divine power that had fused 129,600 laws was called the perfection lesser divine power. This was the strongest lesser divine power, and it was almost comparable to a great divine power. It was even to the extent that under certain circumstances, it was stronger than some great divine powers. Attack. Qi Ming attacked with a cold gaze. He did not have the slightest pity for the fairer sex and attacked with a killer move. The snake ring of fate in his hand flew out and defeated Miao Bibai's divine power easily. Miao Bibai screamed miserably. Her immortal body was pierced and she directly died. She was instantly killed by Qi Ming in less than a minute. Immediately after, the third enemy appeared. This was a burly man 2 meters tall with bronze skin. A ferocious aura spread out and had long refined his immortal body to the limit. His name was Gu Tianyu and his cultivation level was also at the late-stage Immortal King realm as a law cultivator. He had grasped the perfected lesser divine power. He also cultivated a body tempering great divine power. The divine powers he grasped had all reached the profound realm. Gu Tianyu still could not block Qi Ming's attack. Even if he cultivated a body tempering great divine power, he still could not withstand a single blow from Qi Ming. Similarly, Qi Ming's snake ring of fate pierced through Gu Tianyu's body and obliterated everything. Another instant kill. I understand now. Qi Ming pondered for a moment and said, in this Immortal Realm game dungeon of the Challenger Arena, a total of 9 different enemies will appear. The enemies will become stronger and stronger, representing the 9 different levels of the upper world Immortal King realm. He had long known that the strength of one's strength was not only related to cultivation, but also the divine powers grasped, combat experience, and immortal treasures grasped at the cultivation level. Black fog surged. The 4th enemy slowly walked out. What greeted Qi Ming's eyes was a mysterious man dressed in a black cloak. He was thin and could not be seen clearly. He emitted an extremely oppressive aura. He was called Black Wing. His cultivation level was at the late-stage Immortal King realm as a rule cultivator. He had grasped a lesser divine power that had reached the profound realm. Die! Qi Ming waved his right hand, and the space-time gate appeared. He did not use any divine powers and only used the power of the heaven and earth great Dao and the heavenly Dao treasure to suppress this enemy. The 5th enemy. His cultivation level was at the late-stage Immortal King realm as a rule cultivator. He had grasped the perfected laws of the lesser divine power that had reached the profound realm. Similarly, Qi Ming suppressed it with the power of the heavenly Dao treasure and the great Dao of heaven and earth. The 5th enemy could not withstand such a powerful force and was suppressed to death again. The 6th enemy was a late-stage Immortal King who cultivated the rules. He had grasped the perfected laws of the lesser divine power and also a great divine power. All the divine powers had been cultivated to the profound realm. This time, Qi Ming used the power of the heavenly Dao treasure and the great Dao of heaven and earth and some divine power methods to suppress the 6th enemy to death. He spent some time and used some methods. The 7th enemy appeared. The aura and disposition of this enemy were far from what the 6 enemies from before could compare to. He had reached an extremely powerful level and even brought some pressure to Qi Ming. As this enemy walked out of the grey fog, the entire arena space shook slightly. A 3-meter-tall little giant appeared. His entire body was ancient golden and shimmering. His expression was tense and expressionless. He was called Wu Wudi, a late-stage Immortal King who cultivated the rules. He had grasped the perfected laws of the lesser divine power and many great divine power techniques. He mainly cultivated the martial Dao rules and used the martial Dao rules as the foundation to fuse 129,600 laws and create the perfected great divine power. All the divine powers had been cultivated to the profound realm. Perfection of the laws, martial Dao great divine power. Martial Dao great true body. Wu Wudi roared and used the martial Dao true body. He transformed into an endless and majestic giant, as if an ancient demon god had revived. Space-time gate. Qi Ming's expression was slightly solemn. He waved his right hand, and the space-time gate appeared. He grunted again and used the myriad techniques return to one. Scatter. Qi Ming's palm landed. Light flashed and runes flickered. The power of myriad techniques returned to one acted on Wu Wudi and directly resolved his divine power. The supreme divine power, myriad techniques returned to one, had extraordinary power. It could resolve all divine powers in the world and render all divine powers useless. It could even attack the owner of the divine power. The space-time gate crashed down. Wu Wudi screamed. His martial Dao great true body was shattered by the space-time gate. His consciousness was obliterated by Qi Ming and he completely died. Qi Ming took a deep breath. The seventh enemy can already give me some pressure. I wonder how strong the eighth and ninth enemy will be. A 9-colored pillar of light descended and enveloped Qi Ming, causing his consumption to instantly recover. The next moment, the eighth enemy appeared silently. Challenger, nice to meet you. The eighth enemy was a young scholar who held a fan. He was very scholarly and had the aura of a Confucian Daoist. He was a true Confucian Dao saint. He was called Feng Ru. In terms of cultivation, Feng Ru was an upper world immortal king who cultivated the rules. In the Confucian Dao world, the upper world immortal king was at the level of the Confucian Dao saint. He had reached the limit. He had grasped the perfected laws of the lesser divine power and also many great divine powers. Feng Ru mainly cultivated the Confucian Dao rules. Therefore, he naturally used the Confucian Dao rules as the foundation and fused 129,600 lesser divine powers to create the perfected Confucian Dao great divine power. This was not Feng Ru's strongest technique. In all worlds, the laws were limited. There were a total of 129,600 laws. Similarly, in all worlds, there were limited rules. There were a total of 3,000 rules. Now that Qi Ming's comprehension of the heaven and earth great Dao had reached an even higher level, he could already know the number of rules and all the mysteries of them. Feng Ru used the Confucian Dao rules as the pivot and spied on the rules of the myriad worlds. He comprehended 3,000 rules and applied them to the Confucian Dao rules. He fused 3,000 rules and 129,600 laws to create the perfected Confucian Dao divine power that most suited him. The perfection rule great divine power was almost comparable to a supreme divine power. In fact, in some cases, the perfection rule great divine power was even stronger than ordinary supreme divine powers. Feng Ru. After Qi Ming understood the information about Feng Ru, he could not help but praise in his heart, please. As you wish. Feng Ru nodded and put away the fan in his hand. With a wave of his right hand, Confucian treasures appeared around him one after another. The power of the Confucian Dao was released. All kinds of divine powers appeared. Perfected rule Confucian Dao great divine power. Feng Ru shouted, Myriad book world. In the four directions, a phenomenon appeared. The myriad book world had opened up a world from the void. Countless scriptures appeared and evolved into various attacks to suck Qi Ming into it. You're indeed very strong. Qi Ming sighed again. His gaze was solemn as he took a deep breath and took out 3 heavenly Dao treasures. The heaven and earth universe painting, the space-time gate, and the snake ring of fate. They all appeared. The power of the heavenly Dao treasure suppressed the power of the Confucian treasure. Supreme Heaven Karma Seal. Qi Ming roared and used two supreme divine power techniques at the same time. Myriad techniques returned to one seal. Because of the true talisman, the Buddha appeared. Golden light flashed in the Karma Buddha world, as if Buddha appeared and chanted countless Buddhist truths and scriptures. At the same time, the power of myriad techniques returned to one also erupted, as if various different divine power Dharma idols were evolving. Finally, Qi Ming used the myriad techniques returned to one to suppress the power of the myriad book world. Then, he used the power of karma to tear apart the myriad book world and tore apart Fang Ru's perfected Confucian Dao great divine power. Ugh! Fang Ru spat out blood. His gaze was dim. His consciousness and life force were already dissipating, but he was staring at the supreme karma technique and the myriad techniques returned to one. So this is the supreme divine power. Fang Ru muttered softly, I got to see the supreme divine power and the heavenly Dao divine power with my own eyes before I die. I can die without regrets. Fang Ru's immortal body transformed into countless light spots and dissipated. Chapter 383, World's Freedom Buddha, Successful Clear. Qi Ming calmly watched Fang Ru die and dissipate. In the battle just now, Qi Ming used most of his methods and divine powers to kill him. Fang Ru was very strong. A 9-colored pillar of light descended out of thin air and enveloped Qi Ming. He bathed in this energy and instantly recovered. The 9th enemy appeared in front of Qi Ming. It was a Buddha in a Kazaya. His face was handsome and compassionate, like the embodiment of the supreme Buddhist principle. Benefactor. The Buddha said, the sea of bitterness is endless, turn back to the shore before it's too late. You should go back to where you came from. Qi Ming glanced at the Buddha and said indifferently, since we've already arrived here, why talk about turning back? Wherever my gaze passes, there's only the other shore. There's no sea of misery. Forget it. The Buddha shook his head, in that case, I can only ask you to return. Boom. This Buddha pressed his palms together. With him as the center, endless Buddhist light blossomed. A golden Buddha lotus blossomed in the void, and it even contained the power of a supreme divine power. This Buddha was extraordinary. Since he was the 9th enemy, his strength had definitely surpassed the 8th Fang Ru. This was indeed the case. This Buddha was called the world's freedom Buddha. Buddha. This realm represented the position of supremacy in the Buddha world. According to the division of cultivation, it was the limit of the immortal realm, which was the late-stage upper world immortal king. The cultivation level of the world's freedom Buddha was at the late-stage upper world immortal king who cultivated the rules. Main cultivation, freedom rules. He had long comprehended the 3,000 rules and 129,600 laws, grasped the perfected lesser divine power, and cultivated many great divine powers. At the same time, the world's freedom Buddha used the freedom rules as the foundation and fused 129,600 laws to create a perfected great divine power. On this basis, he fused 3,000 rules. He then created a perfected rule great divine power, world's freedom scripture. The strongest divine power and method of the world's freedom Buddha was that he had grasped a supreme divine power, the heaven and earth limitless life scripture, and cultivated it to the profound realm. Be it in terms of power or level, supreme divine powers had already surpassed great divine powers. They were not comparable. The great divine power was a divine power method created by combining the rules. The supreme divine power was an even stronger divine power and method created by combining the heavenly Dao of the upper world. It was even stronger. In fact, it was enough to crush the great divine power. Only a perfected rule great divine power could resist it. The world's freedom Buddha started chanting scriptures. Golden scriptures flew out of his mouth, all condensed from his dharmic powers and rules. Perfected rule great divine power. The eyes of the world's freedom Buddha opened. With a wave of his hand, countless golden Buddhist scriptures flashed and transformed into various phenomena. They shook the heavens and the earth as they surged towards Qi Ming, world's freedom scripture. Suppress. Suppress! Suppress! Qiming felt this mighty power. With a thought, 3 heavenly Dao treasures appeared at the same time and released powerful might. Countless golden scriptures surrounded them. To obtain the freedom of the world and act as the door of life. With a thought from the world's freedom Buddha, a golden door stood behind him. It was dazzling and resplendent, and it contained powerful might. It was as if all living beings had appeared. Countless believers kowtowed and chased after the freedom of the world. Myriad techniques returned to one. With a thought, Qiming used a supreme divine power technique. The myriad techniques returned to one. Seal appeared from his left palm. An invisible screen of light surged out and resolved the power of the world's freedom scripture. Supreme divine power. The world's freedom Buddha raised his head with a surprised expression. He pressed his palms together again and felt Qiming's power. His expression became solemn. Heaven and earth limitless life scripture. This world's freedom Buddha took a deep breath. He also used a supreme divine power technique, and the scripture he chanted changed again. He heard. If, when I attain Buddhahood, the sentient beings of the 10 quarters who, with sincere and entrusting heart, aspire to be born in my land and say my name even 10 times, should not be born there, may I not attain the perfect enlightenment. Excluded are those who commit the 5 grave offenses and those who slander the right Dharma. If, when I attain Buddhahood, the sentient beings of the 10 quarters, while awakening the mind aspiring for enlightenment and performing meritorious acts, should desire to be born in my land with sincere aspiration, and yet should I not appear before them at the moment of death surrounded by a host of sages, may I not attain the perfect enlightenment. If, when I attain Buddhahood, the sentient beings of the 10 quarters, upon hearing my name, should place their thoughts on my land, cultivate the roots of virtue, and direct their merit with sincere mind desiring to be born in my land, and yet not ultimately attain birth, may I not attain the perfect enlightenment. Heaven and earth are limitless, the world is free. The scriptures chanted by the Buddha in the world were all augmented with the supreme Buddhist truths of the world. They contained the heaven and earth rules, and the true intent of the heaven and earth heavenly Dao. Dharmic powers transformed into golden scriptures. It contained true supreme power. The golden Sanskrit enveloped Qiming, making him feel a huge pressure. Even his dharmic powers seemed to be restricted. When Qiming heard the scripture chanted by this world's freedom Buddha, he naturally understood the carelessness and the meaning of the Buddhist scripture. At this moment, Qiming felt the power of the supreme grand wish. It was endless and contained indescribable power that suppressed Qiming's various powers. Blood flowed from the corner of Qiming's mouth. Great Dao Immortal Aperture! Qiming shouted, "Open!" In an instant, Qiming did not hold back anymore. Instead, he erupted with his strongest strength. The Great Dao Immortal Aperture in his body opened, and Great Dao Venerables appeared. Around him were divine power Dharma idols. Supreme Karma Technique. Finally, Qiming let out a long roar that shook the entire arena space. Unparalleled power erupted, and it actually caused the entire game dungeon to collapse. It was too terrifying. Attack. Great Origin Technique. Great Calamity Technique. Earth Fiend Array. Heavenly Constellation Array. Samadhi Fire. Qiming controlled incomparable power. 3 heavenly Dao treasures crushed the door of life. 2 supreme divine power techniques, a total of 117,819 great Dao supremacies, used their divine powers at the same time to attack the world's Buddha. Such power! Such force! Such a divine power! It was too powerful. This is impossible. The world's freedom Buddha raised his head, and an incomparably shocked expression appeared on his face. He sensed the terrifying power coming from all directions, and his face was pale without a trace of blood. All kinds of explosions sounded. The golden Buddhist scripture shattered. The countless golden Buddhist scriptures evolved from the heaven and earth limitless life scripture were all shattered and could not be resisted. That is, the world's freedom Buddha sensed the power of karma, one of the 5 supreme divine powers of the Buddha world, the supreme karma technique. You actually grasped karma. Phew! He spat out blood. The world's freedom Buddha fell. He used all his strength and methods, but in the end, he was still not Chi Ming's match and was defeated. In the golden light that filled the sky, the world's freedom Buddha transformed into countless golden lights that turned to ashes and completely died. All the great Dao supremacies of Chi Ming returned to the great Dao immortal Aperture. The various phenomena around him disappeared, and Chi Ming's face was pale, almost bloodless. Most importantly, the dharmic powers in Chi Ming's body were exhausted by 90%. Pfft! Chi Ming still spat out a mouthful of blood. He was injured. Chi Ming took a deep breath, and his gaze was extremely solemn, as expected of the Buddha who has grasped the supreme divine power. This strength is too strong. I was almost defeated. A 9-colored pillar of light descended from the sky. Chi Ming returned to his original state. Ding! Congratulations, host! You have successfully cleared the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm Game Dungeon, Challenger Arena. Currently tabulating the clearing reward. A notification appeared. I passed. Chi Ming said, I should go back. A wisp of Chi Ming's consciousness left the Immortal Realm Game Dungeon world, and his game character dissipated, turning into a vast energy that reset the Immortal Realm Game Dungeon. At the same time, this wisp of consciousness was also absorbed by Chi Ming's main body and strengthened. Not long after, another notification appeared. Ding! The clearing reward statistics are complete. Congratulations, host! Under the circumstances that you have activated the immersion mode of the Immortal Realm Game Dungeon, you only used a day to clear the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm Game Dungeon, Challenger Arena. You have completed the clearing mission beyond your expectations. The clearing reward has increased greatly. Reward: 15 Heaven and Earth Great Dao Fragments, 1 Fang Ru, and a sextillion top-grade Immortal Crystals. The reward this time is indeed very generous. Chi Ming was very satisfied. Chapter 384, Perfection of the Immortal Aperture, Late Stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal. Chi Ming had cleared the Challenger Arena this time. Not only did he have an extremely good understanding of his strength, but he had also obtained 15 Heaven and Earth Great Dao Fragments and a rare Immortal Pet. He knew Fang Ru's strength very well. This person was extremely powerful. Chi Ming still felt a little pity that he did not obtain the world's freedom Buddha. Immortal Pet, Fang Ru. Introduction, from the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm Game Dungeon, Challenge Arena. The Confucian Dao Saint cultivates the Confucian Dao rules and has comprehended 129,600 types of laws and 3,000 rules. He has grasped many lesser divine power and great divine power and has created the perfection great divine power and the perfection great divine power. His strength is extremely high and his potential is deep. He is already at the late stage upper world Immortal King. His cultivation level has reached the limit of the Immortal Realm and is difficult to break through unless he attains the Dao Validation Dao Fruit. With a thought, Chi Ming received the reward. In front of him, the Confucian Dao Saint Chi appeared. It was white and misty as a scholarly young man walked out. Fang Ru greets sir. After Fang Ru appeared, he cupped his hands slightly to Chi Ming. From today onwards, I will follow you and pursue the great Dao. I will not hesitate to go through danger. Chi Ming looked at Fang Ru and nodded in satisfaction. It seems that you know. Yes. Fang Ru nodded. Chi Ming nodded. With a thought, he consumed the corresponding immortal crystals and activated the 11th immortal pet growth slot. He fused a drop of his blood essence into Fang Ru's body. Fang Ru became Chi Ming's 11th rare immortal pet. He was the strongest among the 11 rare immortal pets. Fang Ru, Chi Ming pondered for a moment and instructed, I'll give you a mission. Go and inquire about the Dao Validation Dao Fruit. Feng Ryu had already grown to the limit of his potential. Even if he continued to grow in the immortal pet growth slot, it would be difficult for him to increase greatly. With Feng Ryu's strength, he was basically at the top in the 9 provinces. As long as he did not encounter an upper world immortal king who cultivated a supreme divine power technique, he would not be in danger. It was most suitable for Feng Ryu to inquire about the Dao validation Dao fruit. Yes. Feng Ryu said. Go. Qi Ming waved his hand. Feng Ryu transformed into a stream of light and instantly left this place. He fled into space and time and left the range of the primordial demon territory. He began to travel the world in the 9 provinces. Feng Ryu was filled with interest and curiosity towards the new world. I'll continue my seclusion. Qi Ming calmed down. With a thought, he took out 15 heaven and earth great Dao fragments and began to absorb and fuse them to comprehend the heaven and earth great Dao. Time passed. Basically, Qi Ming could absorb and fuse with a heaven and earth great Dao fragment every day, allowing his understanding of the heaven and earth great Dao to improve further. At the same time, he also opened great Dao immortal apertures one after another. Because the speed of opening them was too fast, there was too much heaven and earth energy to absorb. Qi Ming opened his inventory like before and took out a vast number of immortal crystals. He absorbed the energy contained in the top grade immortal crystals and used them to open the great Dao immortal aperture and condense the supreme Dao. In the blink of an eye, it was already 15 days later. On this day, with the thought, Qi Ming fused the supreme karma technique and the myriad techniques returned to one into the last opened great Dao immortal aperture, condensing the strongest great Dao supremacy. Qi Ming's immortal body shook, and Dao sounds spread. At this moment, in total, Qi Ming had already established 129,600 great Dao immortal apertures and condensed 129,600 great Dao supremacies, fusing various divine power techniques. At this moment, the great Dao immortal aperture that Qi Ming had opened was already perfected. If he wanted to break through to the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm, Qi Ming needed to fuse 129,600 great Dao immortal apertures. I'll charge 10 billion high-grade immortal crystals. Qi Ming said, cultivate the Chaos Great Dao Scripture, Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal section of the Immortal Realm chapter. Ding! Chaos Great Dao Scripture, cultivating the Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal section of the Immortal Realm chapter under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. A notification appeared. In the following period of time, Qi Ming had always been cultivating cultivation methods on the Heaven Enlightenment Mountain and gradually fused the 129,600 great Dao immortal apertures into one. At the same time, Qi Ming continued to AFK farming and clear the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, Challenger Arena. Heaven did not disappoint those who wanted it. 5,000 years later. On this day. Ding! Congratulations, host! You have been AFK farming in the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, Challenger Arena for 10 days. You have successfully cleared the Immortal Realm game dungeon once. You have received the reward, 1 World's Freedom Buddha, a sextillion top-grade immortal crystals. A notification appeared. A smile appeared on Qi Ming's face. Immortal Pet, World's Freedom Buddha. Introduction, from the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, Challenge Arena. The Buddhist ancestor mainly cultivated the freedom rules. He comprehended 129,600 laws and 3,000 rules. He grasped many lesser divine power and great divine power and created the perfection great divine power and the perfection great divine power of the laws. He grasped the supreme divine power, heaven and earth limitless life scripture. All the divine powers had been cultivated to the profound realm. His strength was extremely high and his potential was deep. He was already at the late stage upper world immortal king. His cultivation level had reached the limit of the immortal realm and was difficult to break through unless he attained the Dao validation Dao fruit. Not bad, not bad. After Qi Ming's cultivation level broke through to the early stage mystic immortal realm, his strength had already increased greatly. He had completely surpassed his previous self and was extremely powerful. With the thought, golden Buddha light shone. Golden lotuses blossomed. The world's freedom Buddha appeared in front of Qi Ming and greeted, "The world's freedom Buddha greets Master." Qi Ming was even more satisfied. He sized up the world's freedom Buddha a few times and said, "You should know everything." Yes. The world's freedom Buddha nodded, "I originally thought that I had already reached the end, but it turns out that I'm still too far away. This monk is willing to follow Master and pursue the great Dao of heaven and earth to the end." The world's freedom Buddha actually called himself this monk now. Very good. Qi Ming nodded. He consumed the corresponding immortal crystals and activated the 12th immortal pet growth slot. He then forced out a drop of blood essence from his body and fused it into the body of the world's freedom Buddha. He had become the 12th rare immortal pet. The world's freedom Buddha grasped a supreme divine power technique and was even stronger than Feng Ru. Qi Ming could let him handle more things. The world's freedom Buddha. Qi Ming said, "I have something for you to do. Please give me your instructions, Master." The world's freedom Buddha said. 5,000 years ago, I sent Feng Ru to investigate the Dao validation Dao fruit, but he was deeply involved in the conflict of the Dao sect alliance and could not escape. Qi Ming said, "Next, I'm prepared to send you to continue investigating the Dao validation Dao fruit. Moreover, according to my deduction, the Epoch Calamity is about to descend." The world's freedom Buddha nodded, "Yes. Go." Qi Ming waved his hand. The world's freedom Buddha had cultivated a supreme divine power technique called the Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture. It had already reached the profound realm. Qi Ming let Buddha teach him the Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture. A day later, with the help of Buddha, Qi Ming completely remembered the Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture. Although he had not reached the entry level, he could cultivate it on his own. Master's talent is indeed rare. It's simply terrifying. The world's freedom Buddha said, "You actually used only a day to completely remember the Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture and can cultivate it on your own." Qi Ming's talent and aptitude had even broken through the restriction of the upper world heavenly Dao under the continuous tempering of the Heaven and Earth Great Dao and reached the limit of the upper world. Even with such potential, cultivating with the help of the AFK farming software and with an extremely terrifying cultivation enhancement, it was still difficult to break through in a short period of time. From this, it was obvious. It was not that aptitude restricted Qi Ming. There had to be another reason. Qi Ming nodded slightly and pondered for a moment. He did not continue thinking deeply. Instead, he said to the world's freedom Buddha, "Next, I'll teach you a supreme divine power." "Thank you, Master." The world's freedom Buddha was overjoyed. He had already vaguely guessed what supreme divine power technique it was. His heart was filled with anticipation and was very excited. This supreme divine power is the supreme karma technique. Time passed. Qi Ming taught the world's freedom Buddha to cultivate the supreme karma technique and consumed a large number of top-grade immortal crystals to let the world's freedom Buddha grow in the immortal pet growth slot. In the blink of an eye, 1,000 years later. Ding! Rare immortal pet, the world's freedom Buddha has cultivated the supreme karma technique for 1,000 years under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. He has already cultivated it to large success. A notification appeared. Qi Ming glanced at the notification and sensed his status. With a thought, he let the world's freedom Buddha out and instructed, "You should set off." Not only had the world's freedom Buddha grasped the Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture, but he had also cultivated the supreme karma technique to the large success realm. His strength was even stronger. Qi Ming might not be able to completely defeat the world's freedom Buddha now. Spring passed and autumn came. The sun and moon flashed. Another 4,000 years passed. On this day, in the evening. Ding! Congratulations, host! The Chaos Great Dao Scripture, Zenith Heaven has been cultivated for 10,000 years under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. It has successfully combined 129,600 Great Dao Immortal Apertures into one. Your dharmic powers have increased greatly, your cultivation level has increased, and your Immortal Aperture has reached the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm. A notification appeared. At this moment, Qi Ming's immortal body shook. The 129,600 Great Dao immortal bodies opened, and the Supreme of the Great Dao appeared. Dharmic powers surged, and the Great Dao of heaven and earth followed. Almost at the same time, Qi Ming's consciousness was empty as he entered an indescribably strange and profound state. He had intercepted a power from the Great Dao of heaven and earth and comprehended a true complete Great Dao divine power. Chapter 385, Great Dao Divine Power, Dao Integration. While Qi Ming's cultivation was breaking through, it formed a vital Qi guidance that caused the clouds in the surroundings to move. Endless dharmic powers spread, and vortex-shaped holes appeared around the top of the Heaven Enlightenment Sacred Mountain. These vortex-like holes were the outer appearance of Great Dao Immortal Apertures, like entrances and exits to worlds. This is... what a powerful aura! Master's cultivation level is about to break through again. How terrifying! Hurry! Activate the Heavenly Cycle Stars Array. Understood. At this moment, on the top of the Heaven Enlightenment Holy Mountain, outside the Heaven Enlightenment Holy Temple, Qi Ming's immortal pets raised their heads and had already noticed the various changes caused by Qi Ming. They quickly formed hand seals and used hand seals. In an instant, they activated the Heavenly Cycle Stars Array and covered the top of the Heaven Enlightenment Sacred Mountain. They quickly hid all of Qi Ming's aura. Qi Ming could break through in peace and not care about the changes in the outside world. His aura had already been hidden by the Heavenly Cycle Stars Array and would not cause a phenomenon. Ding! Congratulations, host! The Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture has been cultivated for 5,000 years under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. You have already cultivated the Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture from entry level to the profound realm and condensed the Limitless Life Scripture seal. At this moment, another notification appeared. At the same time, all kinds of Buddhist scriptures sounded in Qi Ming's ears. Golden Sanskrit surged out and flowed endlessly. It was like countless golden butterflies dancing and surrounding Qi Ming. Limitless Life Scripture Seal. Qi Ming shouted softly, "Condense!" The countless golden runes around him quickly gathered. His hands formed an extremely complicated seal that overlapped all the golden scriptures between Qi Ming's brows and fused into one, turning into a golden Savastika Buddhist seal. Qi Ming had completely grasped the Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture and reached the highest level of profundity. He had completely grasped the power of the Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture. Very good. Qi Ming nodded in satisfaction. Time passed. A month later. Qi Ming's entire body shook. The 129,600 Great Dao Immortal Apertures in his body combined and fused into one. His dharmic powers increased, reaching perfection. He had already consolidated his late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal cultivation. Qi Ming did not come out of seclusion. Instead, he fell into a deeper level of seclusion and comprehension. His consciousness had even entered an extremely deep realm. It was incomparably profound. Qi Ming came into close contact with the Heaven and Earth Great Dao. He was no longer only comprehending the Heaven and Earth Great Dao. While comprehending the profundities of the Heaven and Earth Great Dao, he could further master the power of the Heaven and Earth Great Dao and even evolve the corresponding divine power methods. His comprehension of the Heaven and Earth Great Dao was on a different level. In his mind, various Dao scripture true intent appeared, like profound talismans. There is a thing formed in chaos existing before heaven and earth. Silent and solitary, it stands alone, unchanging. It goes around with peril. It may be the mother of the world. Now knowing its name, I can only style it Dao. With reluctance, I would call it great. This is the great Dao. Qi Ming chanted the true intent of the Dao scripture. Time passed. Qi Ming had already forgotten the concept of time. Time passed quickly like flowing water. It was natural and felt nothing. 100 years later. Ding! Congratulations, host! Your comprehension of the heaven and earth great Dao has entered a new realm. You have already reached the initial phase, micro-sense. Your comprehension of the heaven and earth great Dao will further evolve into the corresponding divine power method. You have successfully fused the 5 incomplete great Dao divine powers of the purity golden body, the 3 pure avatars, the Pangu true body, the Dao slaying Dao technique, and the 5 emperors great Dao divine power into one. You have also advanced further and reached an even stronger level. You have created the great Dao divine power, Dao integration. A notification appeared. At this moment, Qi Ming opened his eyes and felt his body change. Around him, the runes of the heaven and earth great Dao appeared with countless voices following. At this moment, heaven and earth shook. At this moment, the heavens were celebrating. At this moment, the heaven and earth great Dao congratulated. Although Qi Ming's cultivation level was only at the late stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal realm, his comprehension of the heaven and earth great Dao had already reached the initial phase, micro-sense. This was already extraordinary. Things were different now. Qi Ming could already evolve the true power of the heaven and earth great Dao. This. In the surroundings, Qi Ming's immortal pets, the many elders and disciples of the heaven enlightenment lineage, were all attracted by the phenomenon and fluctuation on Qi Ming's side. That is. Gasp! Oh my goodness! In the sky above the heaven enlightenment sacred mountain, an endless and majestic figure appeared. It contained the great Dao true intent and circulated throughout his entire body. He was like a heaven and earth giant standing in the 9 provinces domain. It was as if this heaven and earth giant stood on the continent of the 9 provinces and had the 9 prefectures horizon above its head. It was too terrifying. Such power! Such force! It was simply indescribably powerful and terrifying. The commotion caused by Master's breakthrough this time is too great. It's simply indescribably powerful and has exceeded our imagination. It's even to the extent that the heavenly cycle stars array is unable to hide such power. It has already reached the limit. This is troublesome. Master is probably going to be exposed. Huo Chongqing and the others had solemn expressions. In an instant, all around, the 108 branch masters of the primordial demon sect and many grand elders were all existences at the upper world immortal king realm. They appeared around the heaven enlightenment sacred mountain. How is this possible? The primordial demon sect's sect master, Qing Feiyun, also came. He raised his head and looked at the endless Dharma idol that was like a giant of heaven and earth. He felt an incomparable pressure and was incomparably shocked in his heart. Gasp! Qing Feiyun gasped and an enlightened expression appeared on his face. So, is this the reason why Master wants me to help junior brother Qi Ming obtain the Dao validation Dao fruit? Too shocking! Qing Feiyun muttered, this power is like the venerate realm that has already attained the Dao. I'm indeed convinced. Compared to junior brother Qi Ming, I'm too inferior. My previous thoughts were too laughable. The next moment, the heaven and earth giant phenomenon Dharma idol instantly disappeared and lost all its aura. Qi Ming had restrained his aura. In the world, countless tribulation chi surged, and lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. In the sky of the primordial demon territory, endless tribulation clouds gathered. He could also sense the power of the upper world heavenly Dao. In the heaven enlightenment temple. Is it exposed? Qi Ming raised his head. He had already woken up. He looked at the tribulation clouds that contained the power of the upper world's heavenly Dao and took a deep breath. His expression was a little solemn. The great Dao divine power is too terrifying. Just a trace of aura leaked out and attracted the attention of the upper world's heavenly Dao. Even with the heavenly cycle stars array, it can't be hidden. Qiming said in a low voice, in that case, let's try the power of the great Dao divine power, Dao integration. With a thought, Qiming formed the great Dao seal with both hands. Strands of primordial light began with the Dao seal formed by his hands and quickly spread throughout Qiming's entire body. Lightning surged and tribulation lightning surged. In the outside world. This is the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud. This. What happened? Why would the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud appear? Gasp. How can this be? The heavenly Dao tribulation cloud should only appear when one establishes their Dao. The many branch masters of the primordial demon sect stared at the formation of the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud. Their expressions were incomparably shocked and filled with shock. They could not calm down. Could it be? Qing Feiyun opened his mouth and could not help but say, Junior brother Qiming doesn't need the Dao validation Dao fruit to achieve the Dao? How is this possible? It was not only the primordial demon sect. At this moment, the commotion caused by Qiming was too great. First, he was like a giant of heaven and earth. He stood on the ground of the 9 provinces and had the phenomenon Dharma idol of heaven and earth above his head. Now, another heavenly Dao tribulation cloud appeared. It shook the entire 9 provinces domain. The 9 provinces Immortal dynasty, the Dao sect alliance, the Myriad race alliance, many large and small factions, and the upper world immortal kings who had no choice but to return to the 9 provinces domain because the calamity of the Epoch was about to descend. They all looked at the primordial demon territory. At this moment, the heaven and earth tribulation chi of the 9 provinces domain churned and had already reached the limit. Unknowingly, under the circumstances that the experts and many factions did not notice, the Epoch calamity tribulation chi quietly descended. At the same time, countless living beings, races, and immortals of the upper world in the 9 provinces domain had already been affected by the Epoch calamity silently, but they did not know it themselves. Dao integration. With a thought, Qiming used the great Dao divine power. At this moment, his aura disappeared and fused with the great Dao of heaven and earth, disappearing. He entered the invisible state of the great Dao. Even the upper world heavenly Dao could not capture Qiming's aura. Time passed. The heavenly Dao tribulation cloud kept circling above the primordial demon territory and did not dissipate for a long time. However, no heavenly Dao tribulation lightning descended. Because they could not lock onto Qiming, the heavenly Dao tribulation lightning could not descend. 9 days later, the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud began to slowly dissipate because it could not find its target. How can this be? Why didn't the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud descend? What happened? Primordial demon sect. The branch masters looked at the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud that was gradually dissipating. They were indeed very shocked and stunned. They did not expect this situation. Therefore, junior brother Qiming did not truly transcend the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud, nor did he truly establish his Dao. Qing Feiyun deduced in his mind and came to a conclusion. Chapter 386, Endless Altar. After 49 days, the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud of the primordial demon territory completely dissipated. Qiming raised his head slightly and clearly sensed that the heavenly Dao of the first upper world had stopped paying attention to the primordial demon territory. Qiming heaved a sigh of relief. He did not dare to directly face the upper world heavenly Dao yet. He was not strong enough. With a thought, the primordial great Dao light on his body slowly faded. He lowered his hands and the Dao seals retreated. The power of the great Dao divine power, Dao integration quickly dissipated. Not bad, not bad. Qiming was quite satisfied. The great Dao divine power, Dao integration is an all-rounded divine power method. It includes attack, defense, movement, and support. This time, I used the great Dao divine power, Dao integration. I fused with the great Dao of heaven and earth and hid myself. After using the great Dao of heaven and earth to completely block all my aura, I even hid from the heavenly Dao of the first upper world under the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud. From this, it can be seen that the great divine power, Dao integration, is indeed very powerful. This is only one of the effects it has shown, but it has already affected the upper world's heavenly Dao. The great Dao divine power, Dao integration was formed by Qi-Ming comprehending the great Dao of heaven and earth and fusing with 5 great Dao divine powers, the purity golden body, the 3 pure avatars, the Pangu true body, the Dao slaying Dao technique, and the 5 emperors great Dao divine power. It was further refined and reached an even stronger level. Qi-Ming did not need to cultivate or comprehend at all to completely master the great Dao divine power, Dao integration. He could perfectly unleash the power of Dao integration. The true profundity of the Dao integration was actually the fusion of oneself and the heaven and earth great Dao. The extent to which it could unleash the power of the heaven and earth great Dao was mainly related to Qi-Ming's comprehension of the heaven and earth great Dao. The deeper Qi-Ming's comprehension of the heaven and earth great Dao, the stronger the great Dao divine power, Dao integration. In the end, he could even transform into the great Dao. After Qi-Ming fused with the Dao, he used the power of the heaven and earth great Dao and used various methods, such as invisibility, speed, attack, and so on. In layman's terms, Dao integration was like a buff that increased various stats in the game. In addition, while Qi-Ming was waiting for the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud to dissipate, he also received a notification from the AFK farming software. He had activated a new Immortal Realm game dungeon and obtained a lot after clearing it. Ding! Detected that the host's cultivation level has already broken through to the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm. The reward for clearing the mid-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, Challenger Arena, will be greatly reduced. You can charge 10 quintillion top-grade Immortal Crystals to open the new Immortal Realm game dungeon. A notification appeared. I'll charge 10 quintillion top-grade Immortal Crystals. Qi-Ming said, activate the dungeon. Ding! Charging successful. Successfully activated the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm game dungeon, Endless Altar. You can enter. A notification appeared. Enter. The next moment, the scene of the game dungeon appeared in front of Qi-Ming again. This was also a relatively special Immortal Realm game dungeon. What greeted Qi-Ming's eyes was an incomparably huge super altar that was as endless as a galaxy. The altar had 3 levels. The main body had 3 different colors. The first level was completely golden and was covered in dense golden patterns that contained profound profundities. The second level was completely black and was similarly covered in dense black patterns. The third level was completely purple and was densely covered in purple patterns. Most importantly, there was a ball with 3 colors of purple, black, and gold. In addition, the entire altar was in an absolutely sealed space. Soon, Qi-Ming obtained all the information and situation regarding the endless altar as well as the requirements to clear it. It was similar to the Challenger Arena, but it was even more difficult. All kinds of monsters would appear on the endless altar. There were many of them, and it was not like the Challenger Arena, which was a one-on-one challenge mode. The endless altar had a total of 15 rounds. Only by defeating the strongest existence in the 15th round could one clear the endless altar. Every time he passed a round, Qi-Ming's condition would not return to the peak state. The difficulty of the endless altar was much higher than the Challenger Arena. Ding! Do you want to activate the Immortal Realm game dungeon immersion mode? A notification appeared. Qi-Ming did not hesitate at all. I'll charge 10 quintillion top-grade Immortal Crystals and activate the Immortal Realm game dungeon immersion mode. I'll begin challenging the endless altar. Ding! Charging successful. The challenge begins. Qi-Ming felt a mysterious energy surge into his body and fuse into his consciousness, helping him to separate a wisp of consciousness unharmed. The wisp of consciousness that was separated entered the Immortal Realm game dungeon world, the Endless Altar. Ming also sensed that most of the energy transformed from the 10 quintillion top-grade immortal crystals was used to create the game character that Ming had entered the Immortal Realm game dungeon. This game character was called Challenger of the Endless Altar. Ming's main body used and maintained the Dao integration to hide his aura from the heavenly Dao of the first upper world. The wisp of consciousness that was separated from his main body's consciousness transformed into the game character of the late-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, the Challenger of the Endless Altar, and began to challenge the Endless Altar. In the first round, the enemies Ming had to face were the Black Prison Titan, the Undead King, the King of the Abyss of Oblivion, the Fallen Angel King, and the 10,000-year Spider Spirit. There were a total of 5. Most importantly, 5 enemies appeared in a group. Every one of them was at the level of an upper world immortal king. Although their cultivation levels varied, they were all upper world immortal kings. Attack! Ming took a deep breath and did not hesitate. Great Dao Immortal Aperture. Open. A total of 129,600 Great Dao Immortal Apertures opened, and 129,600 Great Dao Supremacies flew out. In an instant, they passed the first round. There was about an hour of rest time. The second round began. There were also 5 different enemies: the Golden Buddha, the Supreme Demon King, the Supreme Immortal King, the Dao Enlightenment Deist, and the 10,000-year Flood Dragon King. Attack! Ming roared and attacked. The third round. The fourth round. The 10th round. The 15th round. Ming encountered the final boss. His cultivation level had reached the late-stage Immortal King realm, and he was an existence that cultivated the heavenly Dao. He had established 129,600 heavenly Dao immortal apertures and grasped a supreme divine power technique. It was called Oblivion of the Heavenly Dao. Ming fought the Oblivion of the Heavenly Dao for 3 days and 3 nights. He used all his methods. The new Great Dao divine power he had grasped, Dao integration, displayed its true power. The entire Immortal Realm game dungeon was almost shattered by Ming and the Oblivion of the Heavenly Dao. Finally, Ming obtained victory with extreme difficulty and defeated the Oblivion of the Heavenly Dao. He killed the other party and successfully cleared the late-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, Endless Altar. There were a total of 15 rounds. All in all, Ming used 9 days. Ming and the Oblivion of the Heavenly Dao fought for nearly 4 days. Ding! Congratulations, host! You have successfully cleared the late-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, Endless Altar. Currently tabulating the clearing reward. A notification appeared. Ming heaved a sigh of relief. In the outside world, the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud was about to dissipate. I should go back. Immediately after, the wisp of consciousness that Ming had split out of the game character's body and quickly left this Immortal Realm game dungeon world. Ming's game character, the Challenger of the Endless Altar, began to dissipate, turning into vast energy that was used to reset this Immortal Realm game dungeon. The wisp of consciousness that Ming had split out of the game dungeon naturally returned to Ming's main body. It was then absorbed by his main body consciousness and slightly strengthened it. Not long after, another notification appeared. Ding! The clearing reward statistics are complete. Congratulations, host! Under the circumstances that you have activated the immersion mode of the Immortal Realm game dungeon, you used 9 days to clear the late-stage Zenith Heaven Immortal Realm game dungeon, Endless Altar. You have exceeded the limit of the game dungeon clearing mission. The clearing reward has increased greatly. Reward: 19 Heaven and Earth Great Dao Fragments and 10 sextillion top-grade Immortal Crystals. Not bad. Ming was quite satisfied. After all, I used 9 days to clear it, so the reward I obtained was not comparable to clearing the Challenger Arena. Because I only used a day to clear the Challenger Arena, not only did I obtain the Heaven and Earth Great Dao Fragment, but I also obtained a rare immortal pet. This time, there are only Heaven and Earth Great Dao Fragments. However, there are 19 heaven and earth great Dao fragments. Qi Ming pondered for a moment. It should be enough for me to condense the heart of the great Dao Immortal King and break through to the upper world Immortal King realm, but now is not the time to break through. Qi Ming had already sensed that Qing Feiyun and the others were gathered around the Heaven Enlightenment Sacred Mountain. They should have been attracted by the phenomenon when he broke through. He needed to go forward to welcome and deal with this matter. 3 days later, Qi Ming walked out of the Heaven Enlightenment Temple. In the surroundings, Qi Ming looked over. With Qing Feiyun as the leader, the branch masters, elders, disciples, and the upper world immortal kings gathered here. Congratulations to the major advancement of the Heaven Enlightenment Branch Master and the large success of your divine power. Immediately after, the branch masters and the others shouted in unison. Thank you for your congratulations, fellow sect members. Qi Ming was stunned for a moment before a smile appeared on his face. He cupped his hands and bowed to them one by one as a response. It's only a small improvement. Small improvement? Qing Feiyun pursed his lips and thought, Junior brother, oh junior brother, you attracted the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud just now. The tribulation lightning almost struck down. Moreover, the phenomenon created was actually a heaven and earth giant. It truly stepped on the land of the 9 provinces and had the 9 heavens above its head. It was like it was supporting the heavens and the earth. Junior brother, if you're only making small progress like this, then we'll forever be at the same level. Qing Feiyun was filled with envy. Chapter 387, Start of the Epic Calamity. Qi Ming continued to chat with Qing Feiyun and the others. During the conversation, the branch masters asked about his situation. He did not hide it nor did he plan to hide it. As long as the questions of the branch masters were not related to the true secret, he answered them all. Junior brother Qi. Qing Feiyun asked bluntly, what's your cultivation level now? Late stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal. Qi Ming replied truthfully. What did you say? This. Late stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal. Impossible. If you only broke through to the late stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal realm, how could you cause such a huge commotion? You caused such a world-shaking scene that the entire 9 provinces domain was shaken. That's right. After the branch masters heard Qi Ming's answer, their first reaction was disbelief because they did not think that breaking through to the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal realm could cause such a phenomenon. All that could be said was, the commotion Qi Ming created was far too great. It was simply unbelievable, exceeding their imagination and too shocking. This was the truth. Qing Feiyun took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He carefully observed Qi Ming. Are you really at the late stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal realm? You're not lying to me. Qi Ming nodded and explained, I've indeed just broken through to the late stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal realm. Qi Ming circulated his cultivation method and dharmic powers surged out, revealing his late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm cultivation and dharmic powers. This made Qing Feiyun and the others even more shocked. Gasp! He's actually really at the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm. Unbelievable! Truly unbelievable! This. Too shocking! I've lived for so many years and have never encountered something like this today. He's only broken through to the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm, but it caused such a phenomenon and even attracted the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud. Yes, yes. I finally understand why the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud did not strike despite forming. This is clearly because senior brother Qi cultivation is only at the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm, so the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud dissipated. That's indeed a possibility. The branch masters discussed. The entire primordial demon territory was already shocked to the extreme by Qi Ming. I see. Qing Feiyun took a deep breath again. He had already gradually calmed down. He looked at Qi Ming and was silent for a moment before saying, Junior brother Qi, you've only broken through to the late-stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal Realm, but you're already so extraordinary. You shook the heavens and the earth, and the phenomenon even shook the entire 9 provinces domain. It can be said that you will definitely be able to attain the Deo Validation realm in the future and break through to the Immortal realm to enter the Venerate realm. Thank you for your kind words, senior brother. Qi Ming said. However, it's still early to break through to the Immortal realm. I'm only at the late stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal realm after all. I'm not even an upper world Immortal King. Senior brother, I believe that I will definitely succeed. Qing Feiyun continued, junior brother's cultivation breakthrough is a joyous matter. Therefore, I've decided to hold a banquet to celebrate your cultivation improvement. This Qi Ming pondered for a moment. In that case, we'll do as you say. Ha ha ha! Qing Feiyun laughed loudly. Next, the primordial demon sect began to prepare for this celebration. According to the scale Qing Feiyun wanted, this celebration would be held for 9 days and 9 nights. The entire sect, disciples of the various lineages, and elders would participate. This celebration banquet was indeed unprecedentedly vast. It also consumed a lot of resources. Many disciples and elders could not help but fall into the revelry of the banquet. Actually, Qi Ming did not care about this. He did not even want to hold this celebration. He wanted to continue cultivating in seclusion and absorb the 19 heaven and earth great Deo fragments that he had just obtained. This was Qing Feiyun's good intentions after all, and Qing Feiyun was the sect master of the primordial demon sect. He wanted to personally hold a huge celebration for Qi Ming, so he could not decline and naturally agreed. On the 3rd day of the celebration, Qi Ming received news from the world's freedom Buddha and Fang Ru. The information the two of them obtained made Qi Ming quite shocked. This. Qi Ming waved his right hand, and the words in front of him dissipated, turning into a jade slip. His expression became a little solemn. I indeed didn't expect the situation to become like this. He thought about it and felt that it was reasonable. Qi Ming cultivated in seclusion. His cultivation level had broken through to the late stage Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal realm and he had grasped the great Deo divine power, Deo integration. Even the heavenly cycle stars array was unable to stop the commotion caused by his breakthrough. Finally, the consequences erupted. Heaven and earth phenomena were nurtured, and a heaven and earth giant that stood on the continent of the 9 provinces and had the horizon of the 9 provinces above its head appeared. It was incomparably vast, and it even attracted the heavenly Deo tribulation cloud. Under such circumstances, when the 3 great factions of the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty, the Myriad Race Alliance, and the Deo Sect Alliance saw such a phenomenon, they would only think that the Deo Validation Deo fruit had appeared in the territory of the primordial demon territory. Under the stimulation of the epic calamity, the epic tribulation chi surged in the world of the 9 provinces domain. The situation changed, and it affected the entire situation. The primordial demon sect became the target of everyone. The 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty, the Myriad Race Alliance, the Deo Sect Alliance, the various factions, and the many hidden old fogies who had rushed back to the upper world targeted the primordial demon sect. In that case, Qi Ming pondered for a moment. Actually, no matter how you explain it, such a vast phenomenon and commotion will make the primordial demon sect suspicious. It will definitely be surrounded by the various large factions in the 9 provinces domain. A battle is inevitable. It's only a matter of time. Qi Ming took a step forward and left the room to go outside. The celebration banquet was still held when Qi Ming flew to Qing Feiyun's side. Senior brother. Qi Ming cupped his hands. Qing Feiyun had drunk a lot of immortal wine. When he saw Qi Ming arrive, he stretched out his hand and held his shoulder. Junior brother, come, come. You came at the right time. Drink, drink. This is the immortal king drunk that has been brewed for 1 billion years. The taste is endless, as if you've established your Deo on the spot. You're the protagonist of this celebration. You have to drink it. Qi Ming looked around. The branch masters had also drunk a lot. There were fine wine and delicacies, and the banquet was extremely lively. There was indeed a magnificent scene. It was like a paradise. "Senior brother, something happened," Qi Ming said bluntly in Qing Feiyun's ear. Junior brother's breakthrough this time caused quite a commotion. It has already attracted the attention of many factions. The 9 Provinces Immortal Dynasty, the Myriad Race Alliance, and the Dao Sect Alliance are led by the 3 strongest factions. They have already mobilized the Immortal Army and are heading for the Primordial Demon territory. I'm afraid there will be a huge battle coming. What did you say? Qing Feiyun's whine directly woke up. He suddenly stood up and his aura erupted. It was as if a pillar of light that shot into the sky was majestic. Qi Ming nodded, "This is absolutely true." He waved his right hand, and the information jade slip flew out. Words appeared in midair, and the words continued to change, forming various scenes. It was the scene of the various large factions gathering their armies. These were the information that the world's freedom Buddha and Fang Ru had obtained. The 2 of them did not obtain any information about the Dao validation Dao fruit, but they obtained other information. The ferocious beast riot in the 9 provinces was caused by the Myriad Race Alliance. In addition, Fang Ru also heard that the Myriad Race Alliance had a special method to control ferocious beasts. In other words, the ferocious beasts would become the power of the Myriad Race Alliance. I understand. Qing Feiyun took a deep breath and calmed down. "Junior brother, don't worry. The Primordial Demon sect has existed for so long and stands at the 9 provinces domain. It's not so simple." Qing Feiyun soared into the sky and stood in the sky. With a wave of his hand, the heavenly creation mirror appeared and covered the sky with a rainbow-like aura. Sect Master. What happened? This. Sect Master, what are you doing? What's wrong? In the surroundings, the branch masters, elders, and disciples of the Primordial Demon sect were all attracted to it. They raised their heads and looked at Qing Feiyun. In the entire Primordial Demon sect, there are 108 lineages. All disciples, all elders, from the grand elders to the servant disciples of the various lineages. Listen up. Prepare for battle. Qing Feiyun roared loudly. The 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty, the Myriad Race Alliance, and the Dao Sect Alliance. The 3 great factions have already gathered their troops and are heading towards us. Prepare for battle. The heavenly creation mirror displayed terrifying power in Qing Feiyun's hand. It used unbelievable methods and projected various scenes. In the scene projected by the heavenly creation mirror, the 3 great factions of the 9 provinces domain had indeed gathered their troops and had already moved towards the Primordial Demon territory. This. Prepare for battle. The Primordial Demon territory is the territory of our Primordial Demon sect. No matter who comes, we will make sure they never return. Kill. 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 At this moment, the branch masters, elders, and disciples of the Primordial Demon sect reacted. Their eyes were red as they all let out earth-shattering shouts. The shouts seemed to scatter the clouds in the sky. It was truly terrifying. Qi Ming looked over. In his eyes, the 9 provinces domain was already completely enveloped in invisible and formless tribulation qi that could not be dissolved. The epic Calamity tribulation qi surrounded every living being in the 9 provinces realm. At this moment, the karma, evil, debts, and calamity of every living being in the 9 provinces domain were all stimulated by the tribulation qi. All of them were affected by the tribulation qi. Is this the epic calamity? Qi Ming took a deep breath and calmed down. He pondered for a moment and said, as expected, upper world immortal kings and even existences below the immortal realm will be swept into the epic calamity. No one will be spared. Chapter 388, Troops arrive at the Primordial Demon territory. What? Qi Ming slowly retracted his gaze, but he sensed some abnormal fluctuations in the space not far away. With a thought, the power of the heaven and earth great Dao transformed into runes that fused into his eyes. A primordial rune luster appeared in Qi Ming's eyes. This was the eyes of the Great Dao. To be precise, it was a method evolved from the Great Dao divine power, Dao integration. Under the ability to use the power of the Great Dao of heaven and earth, it transformed into Great Dao runes and fused into his eyes. Qi Ming's eyes could transform into the Great Dao eyes and see through all illusions in the world. Any hidden methods would be exposed under his Great Dao eyes. He clearly saw an upper world immortal king infiltrate the primordial demon territory and use a divine power technique to hide his aura. It was extremely perfect and was indeed extraordinary. An immortal king from the upper world has really infiltrated. Qi Ming pondered for a moment and said, "What good methods? You can avoid the seal of the primordial demon sect and cross the sect protection array to enter the primordial demon territory. It shouldn't be simple. Go." Qi Ming waved his right hand and circulated his dharmic powers. A white immortal light flashed as he casually took out an immortal treasure that had reached the level of a top-grade upper world immortal king artifact, Mystic Heaven Immortal Binding Rope. The Mystic Heaven Immortal Binding Rope tore through the air at an extremely fast speed, like a white dragon. Before the upper world immortal king who had infiltrated could react, he was already bound by the Mystic Heaven Immortal Binding Rope. Oh no! This upper world immortal king who had infiltrated was forced to reveal his true body. He tried to dodge, but it was futile. It was useless even if he took out an immortal treasure. After the Mystic Heaven Immortal Binding Rope that Qi Ming took out bound the enemy, it could completely seal their dharmic powers and divine powers. This upper world immortal king lost his dharmic powers and fell from the sky. There are enemies. Be careful. Senior brother Qi is so powerful. He subdued the enemy in one move. He's simply mighty. All in all, in just a few seconds, from the moment Qi Ming discovered the enemy to the moment he attacked and captured him, it only took less than a few seconds for his powerful methods to be vividly displayed. This was no ordinary existence. Instead, it was an upper world immortal king who was already at the top of the pyramid of the 9 provinces domain. His strength and methods were extraordinary, but he was casually captured by Qi Ming. He soared into the sky. Qing Feiyun also tore through the air. The branch masters arrived one after another. They stood above this upper world immortal king that Qi Ming had captured and looked down at him. Soon, Qi Ming and the others asked about this upper world immortal king's identity and goal. This upper world immortal king was really called Miao Kong Kong. His cultivation level was not low and was already at the late-stage Immortal King realm. Although he was only an existence that cultivated the laws, he had grasped a great divine power. This great divine power technique was called the Great Heaven Escape Technique. It was because he had grasped this Great Heaven Escape Technique that he could enter the primordial demon territory without being discovered. However, he still died in Qi Ming's hands. Of course, Miao Kong Kong's goal was not simple. He was a living being at the 9 provinces domain to begin with. After cultivating to the late-stage Immortal King realm, because he felt that he could not continue to advance in the 9 provinces domain, he left the 9 provinces domain and traveled to the first upper world. Now, because the epic calamity of the 9 provinces domain was about to descend, as long as an immortal walked out of the 9 provinces domain, even an upper world immortal king would be affected by the epic calamity at the moment the epic calamity descended, regardless of whether the other party was in the 9 provinces domain or not. They would not be able to escape. The only way was only by returning to the 9 provinces domain before the epic calamity completely descended would he have a greater chance of transcending it. If he was not in the 9 provinces domain, he would basically die. Of course, every time the epic calamity descended, it would be accompanied by the appearance of the Dao validation Dao fruit. To the upper world immortal kings, this was an incomparable temptation. Under threats and temptations, all the upper world immortal kings who had left the 9 provinces domain would definitely return to think of a way to transcend the tribulation or even plot to snatch the Dao validation Dao fruit to advance. In that case, the heavenly demon branch master glanced indifferently at Miao Kong Kong, you're only a lone upper world immortal king. We thought that you would be the vanguard spy of the 9 provinces immortal dynasty. What a waste of time. We were excited for nothing. That's right. The other branch masters also said. Sect master, why are they doing this? The puppet branch master asked. Junior brother personally captured this Miao Kong Kong. Qing Fi Yun said, let junior brother decide what to do. Junior brother, what do you think? Kill him. Qi Ming said indifferently. With a wave of his right hand, he used a technique. Dharmic powers surged out and transformed into an invisible fluctuation that spread out and gently brushed past Miao Kong's entire body. A breeze blew. Under everyone's gazes, Miao Kong Kong was directly obliterated into ashes that filled the sky. Gasp! This! In the surroundings, the gasps of the demon sect elders sounded. This was too powerful. With a casual wave of his hand, this late-stage upper world immortal king who cultivated the laws directly transformed into ashes, leaving only a storage immortal ring. Qing Fi Yun nodded. In the following period of time, Qing Fi Yun led all the branch masters, elders, and disciples of the primordial demon sect to take action. They formed the demon sect army and set up array formations inside and outside the primordial demon territory. Senior brother. Qi Ming called for Qing Fi Yun. Junior brother, what's the matter? Qing Fi Yun had been busy dealing with the 3 large factions recently. Don't worry, junior brother. Even if the 3 large factions attack our primordial demon sect, they can forget about winning. Moreover, the 3 factions might not be able to join forces. Even if they do, they will be suspicious of each other. As long as we sow discord, we will obtain an unexpected outcome. So senior brother had a plan. Qi Ming sighed, however, junior brother came here this time to give senior brother a huge array. This array is called the 9-song Yellow River Heaven Ascension Array. Qing Fi Yun was interested, what power does this array have? Senior brother, please take a look. Qi Ming waved his right hand and took out the 9-song Yellow River Heaven Ascension Array that he had long refined. The core array diagram, the array core, and the array foundation all appeared. This. Qing Fi Yun's eyes lit up. Although Qi Ming had not activated the power of the 9-song Yellow River Heaven Ascension Array, Qing Fi Yun could sense how terrifying this array was just from the wisps of aura he sensed on these array cores, array foundations, and core array diagrams. Senior brother. Qi Ming continued, as long as this array is successfully set up, it can evolve into the 9-song Yellow River world. It has the immortal bewitching pill and the immortal sealing art. It can trap the spirit of immortals, the soul of immortals, the form of immortals, the aura of immortals, the original body of immortals, and the limbs of immortals. When immortals enter, they become mortals. When mortals enter, they die. It can cut into 3 flowers and smear the 5 qi in the chest. There's actually such an extraordinary array in this world. Qing Fi Yun was surprised and delighted, our primordial demon sect has this array. As long as we set up this array and let the immortal army of the 3 large factions suffer, we will kill as many as we come. Ha ha ha! Qing Fi Yun laughed. Senior brother, please keep it well. Qi Ming handed the 9-song Yellow River Heaven Ascension Array to Qing Fi Yun and an array formation jade slip to him. It recorded the array information in detail. Qing Fi Yun nodded and said, with this array, our chances of winning are even greater. Qi Ming nodded. The reason why the primordial demon sect suffered this calamity was also because of Qi Ming. If not for him breaking through in seclusion and causing such a huge commotion, it would not have attracted the attention of many factions, and the primordial demon sect would not have become the target of everyone. Qi Ming had been in seclusion for millions of years in the primordial demon sect and had always been protected by it. He was still the entry disciple of the primordial heavenly venerate. The primordial demon sect was even a branch sect of the primordial deist sect. Logically speaking, Qi Ming could not watch the primordial demon sect be destroyed. 3 days later, the world's freedom Buddha and Fang Ru returned to the primordial demon territory first. Half a month later. Heaven Enlightenment Sacred Mountain. At the top of the mountain, at this moment, the Dao runes of the Heaven and Earth Great Dao circulated around Qi Ming. His body fused with the Dao and transformed into Heaven and Earth. After cultivating for 19 days. Ding! Congratulations, host! You have already absorbed 19 Heaven and Earth Great Dao fragments in 19 days under the enhancement of 100 quadrillion times. Your comprehension of the Heaven and Earth Great Dao has become deeper. Although you have not broken through the initial phase, microsense, you have already reached the small success realm. You can begin to fuse with the 129,600 Great Dao Immortal Apertures and evolve the heart of the Heaven and Earth Great Dao Immortal King. You've already stepped into the threshold of the upper world Immortal King. You're only missing an opportunity to truly break through to the early stage Immortal King realm. A notification appeared. Very good. Qi Ming nodded in satisfaction. He sat cross-legged and carefully comprehended the changes in his body. Although his cultivation level had not completely broken through, he could already sense the improvement in his strength. He was only a step away from the upper world Immortal King realm and could break through at any time. He was only missing an opportunity. Qi Ming came out of seclusion. Congratulations, Master! Congratulations, Master, for your improvement. Outside the hall, Qi Ming's 12 rare immortal pets gathered. With the world's freedom Buddha and Fang Ru as the lead, they bowed to Qi Ming and said in an extremely respectful tone. Behind these 12 rare immortal pets, standing were all the elders and disciples of the Heaven Enlightenment lineage. There was also Qi Ming's immortal realm servants. These immortal realm servants were all obtained by Qi Ming from the immortal realm game dungeon. There were many upper world immortal kings, many Zenith Heaven golden immortals, and even more golden immortals and grand unity mystic immortals. In addition, it had been so many days. Qing Feiyun had already made full preparations. He gathered the demon sex army and set up layers of array formations. They were divided into 3 groups. The armies of the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty, the Myriad Race Alliance, the Dao Sect Alliance, and the 3 great factions had already arrived at the primordial demon territory. Chapter 389, War of the Epoch. Finally, accompanied by the rumble of the battle of the Epoch Calamity truly erupted. Qi Ming clasped his hands behind his back. He stood in the sky above the Heaven Enlightenment Sacred Mountain and clearly heard an incomparably huge explosion from all directions. Attack! People of the primordial demon sect and the demon Dao have let you roam freely in the 9 provinces domain for so many years. Today is the day your demon sect is destroyed. Ferocious beast army, attack! He he he. Not long ago, the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud appeared in the primordial demon territory. The phenomenon shook the heavens and the earth. Has the Dao validation Dao fruit appeared? Quickly hand it over. Attack! Kill! All kinds of screams sounded. This was a battle that swept through the entire 9 provinces domain. Heaven and earth shook, space shattered, time distorted, endless light blossomed. It was incomparably dazzling, indescribably dazzling, and vast. It was too shocking. In the 9 provinces domain, the epic tribulation chi surged. As this battle erupted, the tribulation chi was completely released, affecting every existence and living being in this battle. Die! On the battlefield, living beings died one after another, turning into corpses that fell to the ground. The corpses transformed into countless points of light that dissipated into the world and fused. The battle has begun. Qi Ming did not attack. He took a deep breath, and his gaze was calm. His figure soared into the sky and left the Heaven Enlightenment Sacred Mountain to arrive at the top of the Primordial Sacred Mountain. Here, a statue of the Primordial Heavenly Venerate stood. Qi Ming stood in front of the statue of this Primordial Heavenly Venerate. His gaze looked at the battlefield of the entire epic calamity. The range of the battlefield was too vast, and Qi Ming could not take in everything. Qi Ming's 12 immortal pets led Qi Ming's immortal realm servant army and the Heaven Enlightenment lineage to participate in this epic calamity battle. Clairvoyant world. Qi Ming formed hand seals and used a divine power. Dharmic powers surged out like 3 beams of light, forming 3 extremely huge projections in front of him. On a closer look, these 3 huge projections were displaying a portion of the scene of the epic calamity battlefield very clearly in front of Qi Ming. Qi Ming used the power of the great Dao of heaven and earth to further enhance the divine power, clairvoyant sight, into clairvoyant world. He could see that even if he was extremely far, he could still see a scene hundreds of thousands of miles away. This is... Qi Ming pondered for a moment and stared at the scene in the projection. On the battlefield of the entire epic calamity, there were a total of 3 most important main battlefields. In the first main battlefield, it was Qing Feiyun who led the first demon sect army and fought the army of the 9 provinces Immortal dynasty. The immortal army of both sides fought, and various sounds of battle sounded. In the second main battlefield, according to Qing Feiyun's plan, the second demon sect's army was supposed to be controlled by Qi Ming, but he did not personally attack. He sent out his 12 immortal pets and let the world's freedom Buddha and Fang Ru join forces to lead the second demon sect's army to fight the Myriad Race Alliance. The Myriad Race Alliance was an alliance of various races in the 9 provinces domain that was mainly controlled by the 9-headed Phoenix clan. The 9-headed Phoenix clan was even able to control the ferocious beast army, and its combat strength was extremely terrifying. Qi Ming's 12 rare immortal pets and immortal realm servant army were not to be trifled with. They were also powerful. Coupled with the disciples and elders of the primordial demon sect, they blocked the army of the Myriad Race Alliance. In the third main battlefield, it was the third demon sect army led by the 108 branch masters. The third demon sect army was the weakest among the 3 demon sect armies. Of course, the third demon sect's army had to face the Dao sect alliance. Millions of years ago, because of the continuous battles with the 9 provinces Immortal dynasty, their combined strength fell greatly. The third demon sect's army was enough to deal with it. Time passed. The battle of the epic calamity became more and more intense, gradually entering a white-hot state. Zenith Heaven Golden Immortals and Upper World Immortal Kings appeared one after another. The casualties increased. Looking over, the various arrays and traps set up by Qing Feiyun and the others were all activated. These arrays and traps caused huge damage to the enemy. At this moment, the 9 provinces Immortal Emperor appeared. Qing Feiyun. A dragon roar resounded through the sky. Qi Ming looked up. A 9-clawed ancestral dragon soared into the sky and circled above the battlefield. Its might was surging. Above the ancestral dragon stood a middle-aged man in a 9-clawed dragon robe. He was the 9 provinces Immortal Emperor of the 9 provinces Immortal dynasty. Behind the 9 provinces Immortal dynasty army, the heavenly Dao treasure, 6 paths of reincarnation appeared. Thick fog spread and contained extremely terrifying power. Heavenly creation mirror. Qing Feiyun shouted in a deep voice and released the power of the heavenly creation mirror. The 2 heavenly Dao treasures collided in the air, and an invisible storm shook the space. Long time no see. How are you? The 9 provinces Immortal Emperor's gaze was calm as he stared at Qing Feiyun and said indifferently, "This time, your primordial demon sect will be eliminated from the 9 provinces domain." "Dream on!" Qing Feiyun shouted. "Is that so?" The 9 provinces Immortal Emperor shook his head. The epic calamity has descended. The primordial demon territory has already become the target of everyone. In the center of the storm, the various factions of the 9 provinces domain are sweeping over. The primordial demon sect is alone and helpless. Even if you can block the 9 provinces Immortal dynasty, how can you resist the Dao sect alliance and the Myriad Race Alliance? As well as the old fogies hiding in the shadows, as well as the upper world Immortal Kings who have returned to the 9 provinces domain. You alone can't block it. 9 provinces Immortal Emperor. Qing Feiyun took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "You talk too much. If you want to fight, fight. As long as I'm here, you can forget about stepping into the primordial demon territory. Attack! Qing Feiyun roared and took the lead to attack the 9 provinces' immortal emperor. He used the great divine power and formed an endless sea of black flames that enveloped him. Stubborn! The 9 provinces' immortal emperor's gaze was cold as he shouted, "As you wish." 9 heavens mystic water. The 9 provinces' immortal emperor waved his hand, and 9 heavens mystic water surged out of the void like a waterfall and extinguished Qing Feiyun's black flame sea. Attack! Qing Feiyun waved his right hand, and his intrinsic immortal treasure appeared. It was a pitch-black divine spear. He held the divine spear and attacked the 9 provinces' immortal emperor. Good timing! The 9 provinces' immortal emperor's fighting spirit soared as he quickly took out a 9-story pagoda that was completely black and yellow. It blocked Qing Feiyun's attack and the 2 sides fought. In the second main battlefield, the 9-headed Phoenix clan's Phoenix Lord, Qi Hongling, appeared. This was also a powerful upper world immortal king. He waved his hands and took out the beast summoning bell. Clang! 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 The beast summoning token's voice resounded in all directions. The roars of various ferocious beasts sounded and formed a vast ferocious beast army. Under Qi Hongling's control, they charged towards the second demon sex army. Attack! Fight to the death! Form Master! Kill! Attack! At this moment, Qi Ming's immortal realm servant army risked their lives and roared angrily. They faced the ferocious beast army of the Myriad race alliance head-on and fought repeatedly. Countless blood splattered all over the primordial demon domain. Heaven and earth collapsed, space shattering. This is... Are they really not afraid of death? They are. This. Charge. This is the servant army of Branch Master Qi Ming. We don't have to be afraid or fearful. They're only ferocious beasts. Kill. Charge. Attack. Attack. Kill. 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 Under the encouragement of Qi Ming's immortal realm servant army, the disciples and elders of the primordial demon sect suppressed the fear in their hearts. Their battle intent surged, and their morale increased greatly. Damn it! Qi Hongling's gaze darkened. He waved his right hand, Heavenly Dao treasure, 9-colored glazed pagoda. This was a heavenly Dao treasure. The 9-colored glazed pagoda soared into the sky and floated above the second main battlefield. World Destruction Flame. The 9-colored glazed flame surged out of the pagoda and swept towards Qi Ming's immortal realm servant army and the disciples and elders of the primordial demon sect. Myriad Book World. Fang Ru took a step forward and used a powerful divine power technique to develop the Myriad Book World. The power of the Confucian Dao rules completely erupted, and the Confucian Dao rules runes formed by various scriptures and poems filled the surrounding space. The 9-colored glazed pagoda was too powerful. Fang Ru could not last for long. Heaven and Earth Limitless Life Scripture. The world's freedom Buddha also attacked and used supreme divine power techniques. All kinds of Buddha scriptures sounded, and golden Buddha scripture runes filled the surrounding space. Fang Ru and the world's freedom Buddha joined forces and barely blocked Qi Hongling. Heaven and Earth Universe Painting. Demon Buddha Red Dust shouted. He held the Heaven and Earth Universe painting that Qi Ming had given him and charged into the battlefield to attack Qi Hongling. The latter was shocked and quickly took out the beast summoning bell. Only then did he barely block the Heaven and Earth Universe painting. On the third main battlefield, the 108 branch masters of the primordial demon sect presided over the 9-song Yellow River Heaven Ascension Array and used the power of this array to trap the sect master of the Dao sect. Even the Dao sect's heavenly Dao treasure, Con 88 trigrams, was trapped in the 9-song Yellow River Heaven Ascension Array. Qi Ming stared at the battlefield and was not in a hurry to attack. According to the current situation of the battlefield, there's still a long time to determine the winner. At this moment, Qi Ming clearly sensed that there were upper world immortal kings one after another. They took advantage of the fact that the epic Calamity War had already erupted and that the interior of the Primordial Demon sect was empty to quietly infiltrate the Primordial Demon territory. After entering the Primordial Demon territory, these upper world immortal kings began to search for traces of the Deo Validation Deo fruit. Chapter 390, Deo Cultivator Li Sheng. The ones who had infiltrated were basically all late-stage upper world immortal kings. Moreover, they were all at the level of cultivating the rules. All of them were old fogies who had lived for a long time. They had grasped various powerful divine power techniques and comprehended various rules and laws. In fact, there were also many who had lived from the last epoch until now. It was because they had such cultivation and strength that they could cross the epic battlefield and not be discovered by the 9 provinces Immortal Emperor, Qing Feiyun, and the others and enter the Primordial Demon territory. Where is the Deo Validation Deo fruit? Damn it! I can't find it. I used various methods and indeed deduced that the Deo Validation Deo fruit would be born in the Primordial Demon territory. There's definitely no mistake, but why can't I find it? Damn it! Why did the phenomenon of the Primordial Demon territory appear? They pondered. I didn't expect the Primordial Demon sect to have such a deep foundation. Qing Feiyun can actually form such a powerful demon sect army and resist the joint attack of the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty, the Myriad Race Alliance, and the Deo Sect Alliance. It's indeed unexpected. The longer Qing Feiyun and the others block it, the better. We can have more time to find the Deo Validation Deo fruit. Don't forget one thing. If I remember correctly, millions of years ago, the first Deo cultivator appeared in the 9 provinces domain. However, he was chased by the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty and ultimately fled to the Primordial Demon territory, becoming a part of it. That cultivator is still on the list of the 9 provinces Immortal execution list. His Deo name is Heaven Enlightenment, and his true name is Qi Ming. He has even surpassed the sect master of the Primordial Demon sect, Qing Feiyun, and the 9-headed Phoenix clan's Phoenix Lord, Qi Hongling, to become the first on the list. According to the time, millions of years have passed. If that cultivator is still alive, he should have grown now. The upper world immortal kings conversed secretly with their consciousnesses. Primordial Sacred Mountain. At the top of the mountain, Qi Ming sat cross-legged beside the statue of the Primordial Heavenly Venerate. While cultivating the Chaos Great Deo Scripture, Upper World Immortal King section of the Immortal Realm chapter, he also circulated his cultivation technique and comprehended the profundities within. Great Deo Immortal Aperture. With a thought, Qi Ming shouted, "Open!" In an instant, the 129,600 Great Deo Immortal Apertures opened. Behind him, black holes appeared one after another. They fused with the surrounding void, like black hole vortexes. In every black hole, there was an incomparably powerful aura. The light of the divine power flickered as Deo supremacy slowly walked out. There are many immortal kings. Qi Ming's gaze was cold and filled with killing intent. After these upper world immortal kings infiltrated the Primordial Demon territory, Qi Ming discovered them immediately. Every one of you, 129,600 Deo supremacies, attack and kill all these upper world immortal kings who dare to enter the Primordial Demon territory. Go! Qi Ming circulated his dharmic powers, and the 129,600 Great Deo supremacies set off. Their figures soared into the sky and spread out like streaks of light. Great Origin Technique. Great Calamity Technique. Earth Fiend Array. Supreme Karma Technique. Myriad techniques returned to one. All kinds of explosions sounded. Accompanied by a miserable cry, the first upper world immortal king had already been killed by Qi Ming's Deo Venerable. The Deo Venerable that Qi Ming had condensed with his divine power as the foundation possessed strength that was almost comparable to Qi Ming's true body. The divine powers used by the great Deo supremacies were all augmented and amplified by the power of the heaven and earth great Deo. Their power was extraordinary and extremely powerful. What is this? Gasp! Oh no! Great divine power! Great limit technique! Block it! No! No! In the primordial demon territory, all kinds of explosions sounded. Qi Ming's great Dao supremacies surrounded and killed these upper world immortal kings who intruded. One by one, they were exterminated. The commotion of the battle was not small. It was not because these upper world immortal kings were too weak, but because Qi Ming was really too strong. The upper world immortal kings who could infiltrate the primordial demon territory all had extremely powerful abilities and grasped powerful divine powers. Unfortunately, their enemy was Qi Ming. Qi Ming's current cultivation level was already at the half-step upper world immortal king realm. He was only half a step away from condensing the heart of the great Dao immortal king. His strength far exceeded these upper world immortal kings. Even an upper world immortal king who cultivated the rules could be instantly killed by Qi Ming. Qi Ming had only sent 129,600 great Dao supremacies. There was no need for him to personally attack. These great Dao supremacies had almost killed all the upper world immortal kings who had infiltrated. From the beginning to the end, these upper world immortal kings who had infiltrated the primordial demon territory did not even see Qi Ming's true appearance before they died in the primordial demon territory and became corpses. Their corpses were even refined into countless light spots by the epic tribulation Qi and dissipated in the world. Too weak, Qi Ming said lightly. At this moment, in front of Qi Ming, space fluctuated as a young man in a green robe slowly walked out. He had his hands behind his back and looked at Qi Ming calmly. The green-robed young man's tone was a little excited. "You're indeed here." Qi Ming raised his head and looked at the young man in the green robe. He sensed the aura of the heavenly Dao from the other party. "The aura of the heavenly Dao," Qi Ming said, "you're a Dao cultivator." Qi Ming secretly used his divine power and used the power of the heaven and earth great Dao to deduce. The layers of fog were dispelled by the power of the heaven and earth great Dao, and he obtained the other party's situation and background. "So it's you." Qi Ming understood. "Dao cultivator of the Dao sect." "That's right, it's me." The young man in the green robe said proudly, "Qi Ming, the epic calamity has already begun. The primordial demon sect has already been surrounded and is about to be destroyed. As for you, you will also become a stepping stone for me, Li Sheng, to step into the Venerate realm." "You?" Qi Ming sneered as he stood up. The next moment, in all directions, the Dao supremacies that Qi Ming released flew up like streaks of light and returned to his body, entering his great Dao immortal aperture. Qi Ming's aura became stronger and stronger. Li Sheng's expression became solemn. "Is this your heavenly Dao avatar?" "As expected of someone like me. We're both Dao cultivators who have comprehended the upper world heavenly Dao. But in the 9 provinces, there can only be one Dao cultivator. Every epic calamity can only give birth to one heavenly venerate, and that is me. You can only become a stepping stone for me to step into the venerate realm. Everything you have will become mine." "He he." Qi Ming smiled and said, "Dao cultivator of the Dao sect, in the millions of years when the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty and the Dao sect alliance were fighting, you suddenly disappeared mysteriously. Now it seems that it was not a Venerate realm expert who took you away. Instead, you used the scheme of escaping in front of everyone and deliberately disappeared." "That's right," Li Sheng said, "the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty's strength and foundation are too powerful. Although the Dao sect has stood in the 9 provinces domain for countless years, it's still inferior to the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty. Moreover, the Primordial Demon sect and the Myriad race alliance are supporting us on the surface, but they are only secretly consuming the strength of the Dao sect alliance and the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty. According to this situation, the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty will think of ways to eliminate me. If I don't die, the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty will definitely not let this go. The Primordial Demon sect and the Myriad race alliance will also benefit from this. I escaped and mysteriously disappeared. Apart from my whereabouts, even the 9 provinces Immortal Dynasty's 6 paths of reincarnation can't detect my existence. That's because I've entered the Heavenly Venerate Legacy domain. Qi Ming pondered for a moment. The Heavenly Venerate Legacy domain was a small world grotto heaven specially left behind by existences at the Venerate realm after they died. It had the inheritance of a Heavenly Venerate. If one could obtain it, they would benefit greatly. Clearly, Li Sheng was actually a Dao cultivator who was truly born to withstand the calamity. He would shoulder the responsibility of restoring order after the calamity of the Epoch, so his luck was strong and he obtained the inheritance of the Heavenly Venerate. I've been in seclusion in the Heavenly Venerate Legacy domain for millions of years. Because of the treasures left behind by the Heavenly Venerate, a large number of medicinal pills, and the comprehension left behind by the Heavenly Venerate, I've already reached the limit of the late-stage upper world Immortal King. I'm only one step away from the Venerate realm. Li Sheng said, now, I want to kill you and use your Dao seed to end the calamity of the era. With your Dao seed as the foundation, I will nurture the Dao validation Dao fruit. Dao seed I see. Qi Ming looked at Li Sheng and said, no wonder I failed to find the accurate news of the Dao validation Dao fruit even though I made the world's freedom Buddha and the others investigate for so long. I even used the power of the primordial demon sect. So that's how the Dao validation Dao fruit comes into existence. You need to kill a Dao cultivator and use their Dao seed as the foundation to water the tribulation chi of the epic calamity. Only then can the karma of the death of all living beings mature. You only know now. Li Sheng shouted, die. Li Sheng raised his hand and slapped down. The green palm print contained boundless dharmic powers and the power of the heavenly Dao as it attacked Qi Ming. It was extremely powerful. A casual strike was even stronger than the great divine power. Qi Ming pointed out and circulated his dharmic powers. His finger light soared into the sky and flickered with a primordial purple color. It pierced through and defeated Li Sheng's palm. In an instant, Qi Ming and Li Sheng had already fought. According to Li Sheng, Qi Ming pondered for a moment and pondered in his heart, the Dao validation Dao fruit is nurtured by the Dao seed of a Dao cultivator as the foundation. In other words, every time the epic calamity comes, 2 Dao cultivators will appear and fight each other. I'm not a Dao cultivator. Apart from Li Sheng, there should be another true Dao cultivator. He's also someone who's facing this calamity. Who's the second Dao cultivator? Where is he? What is he doing now? Regarding the second true Dao cultivator, Qi Ming had never heard of his situation or news. He had hidden too deeply.